Alright guys, welcome to the video. This is called The Truth for a reason. I'm going to be dead honest with you about everything. I'm going to tell you absolutely no holds barred. I'm as crook as fuck, so my throat might be a little bit tetchy. But I've been putting this video up for days like the plague, so I'm going to tell you everything, no holds barred, so you have an idea of where this channel's going. This is the actual reality. I've got a little thing of notes here on my desk, which I wrote in permanent marker, which was not the smartest. Anyway, continuing. Me, I am 22 years old, I turned 23 in July. Doing pretty good for myself. I have a house near the beach. It's valued about $1 million. I own a farm, 50 acres. I don't even know what the valuation for that would be, but I have it. I've got probably about $80-ish thousand of vehicles, computers, all this other crap. Now, experience-wise, I like to think I'm quite experienced. I have sold, by the way, I'm going into the business aspect of my life now, so we can get into why I'm qualified to sit there and talk about business and all these other things. I got cryptocurrencies, I've got stocks, I've made money out of all of the above, I've made NFT businesses. Funnily enough, I actually sold the idea. This is a brilliant idea that I came up with way back in the day. So when NFTs were going off the chain and Gary Vaynerchuk was talking about it. Damn, that's a name I haven't thought about for a long time. Anyway, NFTs. I created a program that I sold because I am not a programmer. I created a program that made NFTs basically like Pokemons. So anyway, I sold that. Fucking hard work creating that because I was reading books, watching videos. It was hard. That's hard yakka, that. Fuck me. Anyway, I've sold jeans because I read a book on, I think it was Tommy Hilfiger. Yeah, he started selling jeans in the 50s via door-to-door sales. So I thought, okay, my name's Ben Davey. I'll put Davey on the back of the jeans. Flawless plan. Not so flawless. There was a flaw to it as selling jeans makes no money. I think I made about $500 and it took me ages. But I've sold jeans door-to-door sales. I sold 200 pairs. There are people running around out there with jeans on the back, my name on the back of their jeans. Good quality jeans, I might add. I was quite impressed. Did I keep any? No. Was that a bit of a flaw in my salesness? Yes. Yeah, I fucked up a bit there. Yeah. Anyway, we move. I hope you like my Top G thing. I've had this for fucking years. Good quality. I'm quite impressed. Anyway, I just looked at it in my camera and thought, damn, I like the gold. Should make my own. That's a good idea. Sorry. Completely off track. Anyway, I've dismantled watches and then I put them all together to try and make a better timepiece, and then I sold watches, again, door-to-door sales, because I'll be honest with you guys, I struggle a bit with the online thing. Not that good at it. Yeah, look, that's pretty much it. Business-wise, that's a good chunk of my experiences. I also own a logistics company. That does quite well. Still have that. What else we got? Anyway, that's the business, why I'm qualified to talk to you about finance and business, because I own a lot of shit, and I'm younger than a lot of people. Am I, by any means, up there with, the other 25-year-olds and 23-year-olds that have Lamborghinis and shit? Absolutely not. I've got a nice house. I'm doing very well financially, and that's about the extent of what I can provide you. I don't have Lamborghinis, I don't have Ferraris, I don't have any of that stuff. But I got a successful business, a nice house, a farm, and a good chunk of cash worth of vehicles. Now, I'm also going to be on this channel talking about girls, relationships. I'm an ex-fighter as well. Kickboxing and Muay Thai, predominantly. A little bit of MMA in there. And that whole different... I don't do on the ground. I think there is nothing gayer than rolling around on the ground with another dude. So I don't do... MMA and jiu-jitsu and shit, not my thing. Fuck that. I'm not having some prick sweaty balls in my face. Absolutely not. I, myself, like girls, which we're going to talk about now. Now, I'm qualified to talk to you about relationships. I previously had a 2-year relationship with a great girl. Had its issues, obviously, as a lot of relationships do. It didn't work. Wish her all the best. Before that, I was in a relationship for 6 months. asked her to marry me, and she said yes and then ran away. Disappeared off face of the earth, moved countries. I don't know. Maybe it's me. Who cares? That's life. Other than that, look, I'm pretty good with the women. I've never had much of an issue getting girls or getting with girls, if that makes sense. Would I say I'm a playboy? No, because I'm a lover, you know? Yeah, and maybe a little bit of a playboy. Would I say I am? No. Would other people say I am? Yeah, probably. Oh well. But just more experience, play in the field. You know, you like to get around sometimes, but the important bit is I am capable of relationships due to the fact I just had a 2-year one. And then there's just going to be motivational content that I would like to just give you guys. Look, I have honestly almost every single idea I just gave you that I did business-wise and yours, I have failed at pretty much every single one of them to some degree or another. Like the watches, I think I lost $1,000 and I spent a good month or two working on that. That was hard work for a month. And I shake when I'm not good at standing still. I've broken my hands from the fighting and shit. You know, that made me a bit of money. The fighting's made me a bit of money. I can't sit there and say that. But the selling watches, I lost money. The jeans, for the amount of work I put in there, I'd have been better off getting a fucking job at McDonald's and then halving that wage, and I would have made the same for the amount of work I put into it. The NFT business, that when I sold that, I patented the idea and sold that. That was a world of experience. That was fantastic. But ultimately, would that time have been better off sitting there and, doing high ticket sales or anything else? Probably. Realistically, probably. I had a social media marketing agency, which I forgot to bring up. I sold that as well. That made me absolutely nothing by the time I actually sat there and paid the people that I had to pay. But I was too young to realise that made me absolutely no money. Yeah. So, anyway, I've also asked 1 million girls out, and I can guarantee you that at least 980,000 of them, 980,000 of them said no. I just had to think there and do the maths. Hang on, 980,000, that doesn't mean I've only talked to like 2 girls. No, wrong way around. But that's the baseline, guys. That is pretty much me in a nutshell. I got a bit of debt here, I got a bit of debt there, I got investments here, I got businesses here, I got other things I'm working on. So this is basically just going to be a lifestyle, motivation, business, finance. It's basically going to be whatever I want to talk about when it comes to me to help you guys out. Am I the world's most qualified person? Absolutely not. But am I more qualified than 90% of you? Fucking oath. So, listen and learn. Alright guys, I can't wait to start pumping out content that's related to this. I love this shit. I like helping people. So, I hope to see you all in the next one. Nah guys, that's been the truth, and I will see you all later. Peace.